Hey everybody, Nemo060 here with a unscripted response to Mag's latest rant, which is also a video response, about judging movies and games based on trailers alone. Now, I agree with him to an extent, but I also have a lot to disagree with him. I will say at this point that I obviously do respect his opinion and understand completely if he likes the things I don't, and he does have a fair point. He's a person. But even so, I do have a number of points that I do want to bring up, and I feel that it's better covered in a video response rather than long comments. Now, first off, I will agree in part that I do think it's a bad idea to judge a game or a movie solely based off the trailer. However, I will say the trailers are intended to give you a sneak peek at what is in the movie, a taste and a feel for what the film or the game is going to be like. It's not going to give you the full package. And I don't know if you're familiar with the user known as the movie preview critic, but I highly recommend you check him out. He knows his shit when it comes to movies. He knows what he's talking about, and he often analyses He always does movie preview reviews, where he analyses movie trailers and looks at the director's history, the actors, the general premise, what the trailer shows, and he can spot warning signs as to what could be a potentially bad film and what the contribution to cinema actually is. Now, these predictions are not set in stone. He's not always right. He is just giving his opinions and his critique, if you will, based off what the trailer shows. And on the subject of Halloween, I absolutely despise the Halloween remake. In my opinion, and again I respect Magus's opinion on this, I think it is one of the worst films I have ever seen. It is one of the worst remakes I have ever seen. And there are a number of reasons why, which I covered in my Halloween movie review. The reason I think John Carpenter's original is brilliant because it is the first of its kind. It is one of the daddies of slasher films. And it has this very strange and mysterious guy named Michael Myers. He just suddenly one day comes, picks up a knife and stabs his sister to death. You don't know why, you don't know what his motive is, you don't know anything like that. You just know that he's a bad seed and he's gonna fuck you up. He's out to kill you, I tell you that. That is one thing for sure. And in my opinion, Rob Zombie took away a lot of the mystique that Michael Myers has when he gave Michael Myers a backstory, saying that, oh, he was bullied, his family is white trash, insulting, abuse, pushing him over the edge. That's more realistic, and it is very gritty, and I do admit it had some balls, to say at least, because it does satisfy a modern audience's desire for what horror movies should have: blood, tits, gore, more blood, more tits, more sex, swearing, etc, etc, etc. However, it really just missed out on a lot of the atmosphere and the brilliant directing and the brilliant camera and cinematography works and the brilliant music that the original film had. The original film was very low budget. However, John Carpenter is a brilliant director because he knows how to use suspense. The music, the classic music from Halloween, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do, you know, that, which has become so iconic, really sets the mood. And the fact that Michael Myers is off in the shadows, and the fact you don't see what's happening, you don't see who's the blood that murders. You know someone's been murdered, but there isn't a lot of gore. You see them getting murdered, see him just pop out and suddenly strangling someone while she is trying to reach for the door. It really gives that brilliant atmosphere of suspense and real terror, and the fact that it's realistic, it's down to earth. This could be anyone, and it's just so much more effective, in my opinion, if you do not know the history of this person. If he's just evil, he is just supposed to be pure, uncontrolled evil. And also, I thought that the actors in the acting in the original 1970s Halloween by John Carpenter was a lot more realistic than in Rob Zombie's remake, because in the remake they're all like, yeah, let's get fucked, etc, etc, always talking about sex, almost literally every 5 seconds. There is not one female in the movie under the age of 50 or above the age of 12 that does not talk about sex in this movie. It's all about the sex. It's just there's no substance to it. There is nothing there that really makes it stand out as a horror film. It's just blood, sex, gore, scream. And that's why I really hate the remake with a passion. And I have yet to see the trailer for the sequel remake, or the sequel to the remake H2O. Although, given the first movie and how it ended, and the track record of that, and how remakes have been handled recently, I think a lot of people have a right to be sceptical as to how well this actually is. However, I will wait till the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes come out and to see what other people think of it before I go and see it myself, because I do not want to be wasting my money on something that's going to be utter shite. And that's why the movie preview critic shines, really, in my opinion, because he knows so much about films, and he compares them on so many levels to the predecessors, and he understands what makes a good film good and what made classics, and he has also seen things which he calls the approaching movie apocalypse, where films are just made for cash and have no soul in them. They are just one-dimensional. And the thing I loved about Watchmen was because it was so true to the source material, and that the characters were so deep, and it challenges your perception of right and wrong. However, Wolverine, on the other hand, does not do that at all. It's simply generic. It is just completely generic in every single way, and all the cliches are there, right down to the "we had a deal" scene. But if one does really want to get a full opinion and a full review on a film or a game, then I do agree that they should go and not base it off the trailer. However, I do think that you can draw a lot of skepticism and a lot of knowledge and a lot of ideas or preconceptions on a trailer based on what it actually says, and just look at the Terminator Salvation. The trailer was heavily focused on action, and as the movie pointed out, the movie has ended up being with less character development, and doesn't have the same level of connection that the original Terminator films did. For games, if the trailer does not look good and it's really poorly put together, then I honestly just say rent it first, or wait to see other reviews about what it's like. And as for movies, pay attention to what the trailer is, what the content is going to be, although be aware that sometimes the trailers may not reflect exactly what's in the film. The Watchmen trailer didn't really accurately portray what the film was about, and marketed it more as an action film, as a whodunit film, a mystery film, which it was, as the adaptation of the Watchmen graphic novel. Although I do also think that we shouldn't judge a game or a movie by the fact that it's just a remake. Not all remakes suck. I like the Hills Have Eyes remake over the original personally. I felt that all the horror and suspense elements were just much better handled. But the biggest problem with remakes these days, with so many shitty remakes of classic horror films, they're all done for the ka-ching, the pay, they're just out for the money. There's no soul to it, there's no creativity in there at all, and it really just does harm cinema, and is just so lacking in creativity and originality these days. But yeah, I'll plug the Movie Preview Critics channel in the description box over there if you want to check him out. And that's my thoughts on judging, videos and games and movies by their, trailers. This is Nemo060, and I shall see you all on the dark side of the moon. Off and away.